So the final two types of electromagnetic radiation we'll talk about are X-rays and gamma rays. X-rays you're probably more familiar with than a lot of these because you're all very familiar with what they do. First of all, let's review. What do we know about their energy? Low, high, very low, very high. High or very high? Very high. They're almost at the end of the sentence. Very high. And what do we use them for?
Looking at bones.
Looking at bones. And how does that work? Anybody know how it works? The way it works is this. So imagine, if you will, a magnetic plate. All right, there's a magnetic plate, and you put your arm on it or whatever. And, oh, is that a funny arm? Is that funny? Is that funny to you? Let's see you drawing it better. Drawing. So let's take some X-rays. What we're going to do now is we're going to shine X-rays down into this person. And X-rays have a property that they will actually go right on through blood, skin, flesh, fat. Go right through. But they will not go through what stops them. Something very, very dense, much more dense than what I just described. It will not go through bones, exactly. So inside of this person we have some bones. The ulna, the radius, and carpals, and metacarpals, and whatnot, and phalanges.
His hand looks pretty broken.
No, we're looking at the inside of it now. So, well, maybe it does. It still does anyway, doesn't it? So anyhow, there we go. What's going to happen to these X-rays is if they hit skin, if they hit flesh, if they hit muscle, they're going to go right through. But if they hit a bone, they're going to be absorbed. That bone's going to catch it. And so the bones essentially protect the magnetic plate underneath from being hit by an X-ray. And so this magnetic plate underneath, then, what you're left with is a picture. You have a picture underneath of all of the places where the X-rays hit and all the places that they didn't. Call it a negative. And so then you can go print out a picture of what that looks like, and you can see where the bones are and whether there's a break or anything like that. Now, X-rays are bad for you. You don't want to get a lot of X-rays within a year. They have guidelines on how many they think you should be able to get in a year. And if you're a medical technician who works, anybody related to someone who works like as an X-ray technician? Your mom does? And does she, so she's got the big lead vest and things like that?
She has them at work.
Yeah, so yeah, whenever those people are working, they actually have to put on special clothes because even though they're not getting the X-ray, they're kind of in the same general area, and that's what they do for a living, so they're doing it all the time, and they're getting constantly small doses, and so they have to wear these aprons that are like lead encrusted, so there's lead that stops those X-rays from hitting them. Plus they'll go back behind a special wall before they'll hit the button and everything, so they have to be very careful about that. The last type of electromagnetic radiation should look kind of familiar, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Should. Yes, it should. And does it? It should, but does it? Where did we learn about gamma waves? Last chapter. They are produced when? Produced by what?
Bombs.
Bombs is one example, but more generally we could say they're nuclear reactions. Bomb being one example. The reason that bombs give off gamma is because bombs give off a lot of energy, and gamma waves are very, 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 very high in energy. So, what is a use for gamma that we learned from last chapter? Like a positive use, a good thing.
Electricity.
Nope, don't use them for electricity.
Well, then I don't know.
What? Well, perhaps. There's something more directly that I'm thinking of.
They use it for light.
No, what? Do you remember the You remember the part in the video about food irradiation?
Oh.
You have food, and you want it to be safe for a long time, and so one way to make it safe is to kill all of the bacteria and organisms that might be inside of it, and so you expose it to gamma waves. And anything that's alive, that's going to really mess up and kill, but anything that's already dead, it's going to have no effect on it, or very little effect. And so gamma waves can actually be used in a positive way to keep food fresh for longer, keep it from spoiling and things like that. But by and large, unless, except for the couple of very specific examples like this, these things are bad. They're bad and cool. You want to stay away from cool. You don't want to be exposed to gamma waves because they can cause cancer. They can cause poisoning in large quantities. And like he said, when you drop a bomb, that's one of the big things that's made that does a whole lot of the damage.